Welcome everybody back to the Anstal Racing IMSA series. We're here for season 8. 8 seasons so far, the Anstal Racing IMSA series. We had a couple of great seasons.
Ik vraag alles hier, want ik ben nu op deafening call.
We had a couple of great seasons, as I'm sure some of you are aware, but we're back for season 8. I'm hoping that I will be joined by one of my colleagues later on today, but at the moment it is just me. We're in GT3 qualifying. We've got a full grid today, pretty much. We're missing a few drivers due to illness, etc. And it's going to be a busy session. You can see that timing tower essentially full on the left-hand side. This is the first car out there, a car switch. For him, it looks like this season driving the Acura. We are going to be discovering today who's driving what. It's a first for a lot of these guys. Yeah, so at the moment, Igna's getting ready to prep this lap. Like I said, pretty much full grid in GT3. And then pretty much a full grid in GTP as well. Well, it is a full grid in terms of sold out seats, but like I said, a couple of absences today. The other one to look out for is that we've got LMP2 returning to the series, so slightly revised qualifying format as well for some of these drivers to get used to. So rather than the previous 15 minutes or 14 minutes, I think it was, that the drivers had, is now only 11 minutes with a 1 minute break in between the classes to accommodate the addition of the third class. So Igna's getting ready to start his lap, first flying lap of the season. Let's follow him along as he does so. He'll be the benchmark for everyone behind him. Obviously a pretty good season last time out, just a little bit out of touch of the Championship 3, but he'll be hoping to improve on that this time as he goes through turn 1, really flicks it in, runs right up on the curb. He might have picked up an off track there, but I don't think so, because he's carrying on at full pelt and nothing showing up on the timing screens as it stands right now. We are having a few little bugs with the timing screen, but we're going to fix them as we go along, so bear with us. We have got this sorted out just for the race to have the class splits properly, that we are still working out how to get that one sorted. But even the purple sector through sector 1 and sector 2, the only drivers who have made it through sector 2. I wouldn't be surprised if Bram stole it from behind, or Ferrin, whoever that is, carrying the tow behind him. I believe that's Ferrin actually following him directly behind. But no one's beat that sector 1 from Igna, so it does look like he's got the pace as it stands right now. We are expecting a full dry race today, but temperature conditions might be altering a little bit. That purple sector 2 though has gone, and that's now gone to Noah Zohani a little bit further down the order, as does a sector 3 to Oriel Falk, and then well, he's to go through sector 4. Yes, he has, sorry. He's not held on to that either, and that's been beaten by Ferrin, who is a couple of cars further back. But Ignis has still got some decent pace here. I wouldn't count him out of anything if we're going to be leading these purple sectors. Don't lose these purple sectors because he's the only one setting them at the moment. But the car looks pretty good here. This is a new Acura as well, so not just a car change, but a car change. You want a brand new car. You won't have much experience with this, and we've driven it in week 13 and then probably compared it to a couple of other cars in preparation for today's race. Those of you who aren't aware, you are stuck with one car for the whole season. You can switch cars, but it does mean forfeiting your whole point. So Ignis is going to come to the line. He's going to set the benchmark time, and what's it going to be across the line? 7 sectors done, and it's a 1 minute 59.859. That is the benchmark time. Who can beat it? Ferrin may have a good chance. Bram can't. He's 2 minutes 2 seconds off the pace of Ignis as it stands. Oriel goes to the top at 1:59.856, 3 thousandths quicker than Ignis, but Ignis' time standing pretty well. Those two clear of the field by over a tenth as it stands right now, and we'll get the time board so it's showing the correct gaps for you rather than the intervals. The Acura clearly doesn't quite have a logo yet in the broadcasting software. We'll try and see if that is fixed in an update, which should be out soon. But everyone else's car choice you can see on there. A lot of McLarens, a couple of Fords. I think one of the teams that has traditionally run the Ferrari or McLaren has actually switched to the Ford this season. This is interesting. We'll see pick up a couple of flags. Sander Boa, new to the series, coming across the line in that beautiful looking Ferrari, and it's 9 seconds off the pace. Not a great lap for Sam. A couple of people still improving there. Robert Kovac is still running a little bit further around the field. The pro driver slots to P10 overall. 23 cars out there at the moment. A couple of drivers who haven't gone out and a couple of absentees, like we said, but a pretty busy grid. And with only 11 minutes in this qualifying session, it's pretty rammed out on track. We've got the track map up for you very briefly, so you can see just how many cars are on the road. And there's a little bit of a gap that I'm sure some people will be trying to find, but some people maybe want a little bit of a tow here as well. You will see some of the teams working in unison. It's still Robert who we're following now. Let's take a look at Ferrin, who's about to come across the line in this car now, going past your screen. And Ferrin comes across the line, doesn't improve their position as a teammate nearly runs into the back wall, and that was Brown going to P14. Ferrin doesn't improve position, but does move within a tenth of pole position. Noizahani moves up to P4 with that pretty solid lap time of 2 minutes flat. You can see a couple of the hypercars in the pit lane who are just parked up, and that Mustang makes him look tiny until Emery gets a black flag. That'll be for pit exit, I would assume. Jesus Jimenez about to come across the line, only P18 for Jesus, but that was his first lap, so just getting in the groove of things in qualifying in this format. This format as well, of course, not what most drivers are used to, particularly in a series like this. Most people, well, in the actual IMSA series on iRacing and in other leagues, often have a closed qualifying, and it's a normal 2 minutes, 2 laps in 8 minutes scenario. But this open qualifying layout is much more like what we'd see in real life, with perhaps slightly compressed sessions. Sander Barrels getting a black flag. Some of these black flags are going to be, these aren't being handed out by race control, otherwise we'd see why they're getting black flags. These are just speeding in the pit lane infringements. So this first lap, Memorial and Ignis holding up pretty well so far today. Not massively surprising to see that. But the track may continue to ramp up. Like I said, there's 22 cars out there at the moment circulating, trying to set the best lap times that they can. So they'll be laying down an awful lot of rubber, and this track will have changed a lot by the time that the GTPs get on it, which is worth bearing in mind. Quite a healthy mix of cars on the track as well. We have got an Audi, Anthony Cadlanta running the Audi, and Michael Kellenberger running the Porsche. So I believe that means we've got, well, I don't think that's one of everything, but it's one of most things. A lot of McLarens, as expected with the bot as it is at the moment. Jesus pulls off the road. A couple of people on laps at the moment. Nothing absolutely flying. Oriol here in the new livery for his team. All of those drivers running the McLaren this time round. We had a split last time round. I think Oriol ran one car whilst his teammate Evan Jarvis ran another car, but they're both running the McLaren this time round. Danny Maggioni goes to P11 with that time. 07 Racing car flying round the corner at the back. Danny Maggioni goes to P11. Purple sector 1 for Ignis, purple sector 2 for Ferrin. It's not over till it's over. 2 minutes, well, 1.5 minutes now to go. We just had the 2-minute warning from race control to tell us that these drivers are going to be coming to the line very shortly. That's a checkered flag for this class, just this class. There we go, class sets fixed. You can see the pro and am split there. Hamburger will take pole position points in GT3 as it stands right now. Sebring improving as we're on board here through towards the end of a lap. This is crucial here to set up that run down the final straight after this section. Well, it's not the final straight, but the final straight before sunset. Lots of green sectors out there at the moment. Cinnabotkoven just come across the line to improve, wow, up to a mighty 10th place after not having previously set a lap time. And look at that, top 14, all within less than a second of each other. We've got a couple of stragglers at the back as they get used to this qualifying format, but I'm sure that won't be the case in the race. Sebring then to come across the line with a pretty good lap so far. 3 purple sectors, purple lap time to the top by 1/1000th of a second to their teammate Oriel Bolt. Ignis Winter still 6P3, he's improving on this lap, but he's had to retire to the pit lane, so it's lap open for him. Bolt retires to the pit lane as well. I don't think anyone's going to be able to challenge this lap time. Checkered flag for GT3. Luigi Nespolini still out there trying to improve, currently 4/10 off the pole position in the Mustang. Good looking Mustang in that new livery for this team as well. Matteo Vitali up in P5, Adam Jarvis P6, Neil Zohani new to the series, highest newcomer in this format. Massimilio Lagheri in P8 as well, new to this format. Chris Chatterton, Robert Kovac, all new to this format. Very, very impressive to see them working it out very quickly. A couple of drivers giving up on this session. Matteo Vitali not improving so far. Nespolini goes faster, sits 6th right now. That'll be session over for him, so it'll be best of 6th. The McLaren's looking quick, but Ignis proving that Acura is no boat at all. The Porsche struggling a little bit. Niels Ullmann, commentator who you all spent a lot of time with last season, taking part this season in GT3, sits a little bit further down the order in that Porsche, but I think we all knew Porsche was going to struggle. Now, the moment that you have all been waiting for, LMP2, back in the Anti-Store Racing IMSA series, and back in style. We've got a lot of different drivers coming in, a lot of new drivers, a lot of drivers that have switched from the P1 down to the not the P1, it's not called anymore, is it? A lot of drivers who have switched down from the LMDH for GTP class to this class. Jaeger, new to the class, who are following on board. Car number 697 is going to be the first to take the green flag, and that's Albert P making the switch to LMP2 after finishing runner-up in the GTP class last season. And newly painted DLR showing off that livery earlier on the Discord server. If anyone wants to join the Discord server, you can find that link in the description to come and find out what it's all about. And if you want to get on the waiting list for a seat as well, you can do so on the Discord server. That's the best way to find out about seats. That's the best way to find about what's going on and what's going to be upcoming for next season. Into turn 1 for Albert Green, flicks it in. So much grip in the LMP2. It's a little bit slower than it was previously with the latest update, but still handles incredibly well. And these guys are going to be super quick when it comes to the rain as well. Obviously don't need to talk about the car selection for these guys. Everyone running the Dallara, the only LMP2 that we have in iRacing. I think the Prop going purple in Sector 1 though, making the switch from GTP as well this season. Although a bit of conflicting information. One time the software's telling me that he wasn't quicker than Albert, one's telling me that he was. But either way, very, very close. Pete Green's also new to the series. Christian Glamster back in the series. Yanis Daya new to the series. Tristan Onaning new to the series. Emil Kumpas new to the series. Andy Yeager new to the series. Jamie Abram returning to the series. Daniel Reneke returning. Sebastian van der Heuvel, I believe the last remaining LMP2 champion in the Unstilled Racing Inter Series, also returning. Great to see some of these cars back with us. Albert Cream now on his way towards sunset. Emery following a little bit further behind. When we get in, Tony was maybe hoping for Albert's got it all for himself right now. He's going to set the benchmark time. So the benchmark time stand the test of time in the previous session. What's it going to be for Albert Cream? It's a 1:49.631 to send him to the top provisionally. Can anyone beat it? Emre Kamal comes across the line and beats it straight away by 46 thousandths per second. Leave the clock a little bit off that pace with some good sectors so far. Albert Cream goes purple over in sector 1 this time around, so he's clearly finding pace on lap 2 as we've seen him do in the GTP class previously. Andy Yeager goes P4, James Abram P5, Sting Conning P7, Pete Green's P7, P7, yeah, sorry about that. Yanis Dare P8. These cars look absolutely beautiful as we do another driver across the line. Emil Kumpas about to do so as well in that white and blue LMP2. Across the line. That's not a lap time because that's an out lap. Christian Gleimstedt yet to set a lap time from the No Limits car. Great to see No Limits back in the series as well after a couple of break seasons. The LMP2 has really drawn a lot of people back, as well as the updated time model in GTP and that Ferrari as well. We've got a couple of them, as you maybe won't be surprised to hear, in the GTP class, and we'll see how they get on today. But that new tyre model making the GTP a lot more fun to drive. Maybe making it a little bit too quick, but a lot more balanced and a lot easier to drive on those first few laps. It can often be horrible. And the tyres, rain tyres in particular, seems to be an awful lot better for those wet races that we love to have here. And we have got a couple of timeline races coming up and a couple of races with some forecasted weather that is going to send a little bit of rain towards some of the drivers, but not today. Wanted a dry shootout for round 1 as Christian Glamster goes P3. Now as the rest of the drivers make their way to the line, Albert Green couldn't improve. He lost 2 tenths over his previous lap and he's 2 tenths down in sector 2 to Emre, so he'll be needing to find a little bit more if he wants to improve. Daniel Reneke about to come across the line to try and move up from P10. And it's a 1:49.558. No, it's a 1:51.279 for Daniel Reneke that keeps him P10, but it is a time improvement. Albert Cream sending yellow sector, but then having a spin, I think. Let's try and take a look at what happened to Albert, and we can't find it. I think he must have just pulled over to try and fix whatever was going on. Alright, I believe our issues with the timing tower are fixed. We'll see when we get to GTP. But right now it looks like those issues are gone. Abercrombie going once more, but Emre Kumpas with some good sectors. That's James Egan and Liam de Kock have just moved up as well with green lap times. Emre with the purple sector, that's why we're following on board here. Or not on board, but we're following this car around the track. And you know what, why don't we go on board and see what it's like inside the car. Down the straight into sunset towards the end of the lap. Then you then go deep, set up the exit. Right up to the wall, over the little bump, and stay to the left to shorten the run to the line. Emre Kumpas with that purple sector, and followed by a series of greens, moves up to P4 with a 150.131 mega improvement from him. Van der Heuvel also looking for improvement. He's got a couple of yellows and a couple of greens. And that car looking very nice. Two-minute warning for LMP2 from race control. Couple of guys, all with a lot of yellow sectors, a couple of greens in there, so if the greens are good enough they'll improve, but struggling to find time towards the end of this session. Maybe they've fueled for 2 laps as Seb moves to the right hand side, so Jesse is getting ready for another flying lap. It's not an improvement for him, it is an improvement for Pete Greens at the back of the lap. A little wiggle on the way in for Seb, and that's session over most likely. They've had the 2-minute warning. Yeah, there's only a minute left in their session, so that's session over. For Seb, we got a little bit loose on the way in, and that just unsettled the car for the rest of the lap. Daniel Reneke looking to improve off the last row of the grid. Really struggling with the power picker there out of the final corner, just can't find the grip. Through the line. Nothing there noted. Van der Vacker under investigation. Not sure what that's for. It may be heading out of the pit lane, or heading to the pit lane exit too early in GTP. A couple of people looking to improve, but nobody out there able to so far. Liam de Kock still on the lap time, looking to improve from P5, but it's all yellow so far for Liam. I'll tell you what, Liam looks much more at home in his LMP2. Bit of a torrid time in the GTP, rapid at times, but a couple of mistakes. And one where he's feeling a bit sick at Hockenheim last season. And he sort of managed to make it halfway through the race, and he very gracefully joined us in the commentary booth. A big shout out to Liam for that. To the pit lane for Liam, though, he knows there's no improvement coming. Diego looking to knock Liam off one pot ahead of him, also heads to the pit lane. Nothing to go for him. James Ebrams out, Janis Dyer also into the pit lane, but I tell you who's not going to the pit lane is Christian Glamstedt, who in that no limits LMP2 has got 2 purple sectors and will be really worrying the 2 cars ahead of him. He's 1.6 tenths of a pole, 164 milliseconds off the pole, and 2 purple sectors can definitely push him up to the top. 2 yellows, 2 purples, 1 green. What can he achieve towards the end of the lap? Someone to push too much. We've got green flag for GTP, but that won't matter. They won't catch him up now. That's why we've got that 1-minute gap in between the sessions.
Sanna, wil je alsjeblieft niks zeggen tijdens de balling?
I believe we're going to drive that accidentally on the radio channel there. We'll get that sorted out. Race control will flag them up for it. Christian Glamstedt, can he put in a mega lap at the end of the session to go to provisional pole position, what will be pole position in the LMP2 class? But no, he pulls off before he gets to the line. What could have been the lap for Christian isn't going to be the lap. He retires from the session. So we'll go and join our GTP cars. We got out on track, and Davey van der Wacker is going to be the first of them. If any of the drivers are checking their names on stream and they're not quite right, please let us know and we'll try and get them sorted out as soon as possible. I've already spotted a few that we're going to try and fix whilst we're going. It's going to be interesting then. First ASR qualifying session with the new tyre compound. Picking up the new physics that we've got. Race control will put some rules in about the dirt. Make sure that nothing excessive or dangerous is happening. A lot of people moving the tyre temperature in the back. Davey van der Wacker is going to be the first to approach this lap. In the Acura, I'm going to throw the cars, our logos back up there for you. Anything in blank is a 499P Ferrari. Davey van der Wacker flicks it into turn 1 in the GTP. It looks incredibly planted. Just follow along this lap with the gyro cam. Davey with mega pace towards the end of last season, but only racing the final half of the season. As did Matisse, who's running the Cadillac, shockingly. Based off of the timing screen, not seen him driving that car before. Davide Favaro returning to the GTP class after a season away. Alvaro Gutierrez back after last season, as is Davey van der Wacker, Matthias Weiten, Ayrton new to the series in the Acura as well. Great to see that. Dave Van Eck back in the series. Vincent new to the series. Van der Moelenbroek, I believe that is pronounced, but correct me if I'm wrong, Vincent, when you're watching back on this stream. Alessandro Lelli, new to the series. Carlos Ponce returning. Jean-Paul Seaman returning. Juanto Avale returning. Jeffrey Ross returning in an Acura rather than a BMW. Marnix Heister returning to the series, as is Quinten Verdon. Glenn Van Duyever, new to the series, as is Simon Bamber. Approaching the end of the lap, and I'll tell you who's taken all of those purple sectors off of Davey. It's Alessandro Lelli. One of them's gone to Dave Van Eck, one of them's gone to Jeffrey Ross, but Alessandro Lelli absolutely flying. It's Quinten Verdon. And it takes a purple final sector, I believe. That's on his out lap. As Dave Van Wacker goes to provisional pole position, Alvaro Gutierrez can't beat him. What can Lelli do? Lelli can beat him by 2.7 seconds. Lelli quick on the ball. As it starts the session, nobody's getting anywhere near that. But maybe the other drivers carrying a little bit more fuel, going for another build lap or so. But that is mega pace from Nelly there. Matthias Weiten with purple sector 1 on the second lap. Dave Van Eck is going to come across the line and not set a valid lap time because that lap time wasn't counted. The track limits. Davide Favaro takes purple sector 2. Davide we've seen before in the series in this exact same Porsche, and he was absolutely rapid. He was leading the race at Road America a couple of seasons ago before he ran into a problem, passing some cars, and unfortunately was involved in what was a fairly big incident. But he's back with something to prove. He's got the pace. Just need to see him work on the traffic, which is going to be extra difficult this season. With traditionally, I think we've only ever run the Amstel Racing Indy Series with 2 classes. We used to run with GT3 and LMP2, and then we ran with GT3 and GTP, and this is the first time that we're running with all 3 classes, and it's absolutely great to see. And with that slowed down LMP2, the GTPs are going to have to deal with them potentially a couple of times a race, as well as the GT3s and the LMP2s on the GT3s, and maybe we'll get all 3 at once. Who knows what's going to happen today? Today really is the first session of this, and it really is going to be a tester race for most of these drivers, trying to work out what the track is going to be like. No one really knows obviously in the iRacing England Series. Only a 45-minute race, different fuel tank capacity, and different gaps on the start of the race as well. The driver being approached to lead between the 5 and 20-second gap, which will already spread them out quite a lot. No one could challenge Lilly at the top at the moment. A couple of them have got closer. Gutierrez, Seaman, Whiten, Heischer, Favaro, all a lot closer than they were. But no one able to get close as Jeffrey Rosses in the Acura goes 38 milliseconds off of what Lilly did, with a bunch of purple sectors to complement that. Great to see. Bamber goes across the line, all green sectors, but I don't believe that lap time was counted either, because there was an off-track in that run, and Bamber and Verdon not having the best of sessions so far. They'll be hoping to improve a little bit. Van der Backer across the line, looking to improve, and does improve to pole position. No purple sectors, a series of green sectors. Davide Favaro then beats him by 38 thousandths of a second to go to P1, sorry. But Van der Backer going all green to put himself there. Favaro goes yellow, yellow, green, 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 green to go there. So, yeah, mega pace from some of these guys right now. It's really ramping up in the second half of this session. That's why those guys that hadn't set a lap time were at a massive disadvantage. Van der Backer now has set a lap time, and he just said he's gone to the top. Amber still looking to improve though. And that Cadillac is a very nice looking black, white and blue livery. It's all yellows apart from one sector so far this lap for Amber. That doesn't really matter, he's just got to play it safe. Got to get a lap time in, and he knows where to go from that. That reference lap can be crucial when you need to push a little bit more to get towards the front or to get to pole position. Bamber then does set a lap time. It's P15, but it's what he needed to do, and then he'll see if he can improve from here on out. That's what he'll be hoping for. No serious messages from race control, no further information from race control on that 0X from one of our hypercars as far as I'm aware. It's just been noted. There's Van der Backer, but nothing further than that. Vincent Amelia pulls off the road. Bamber still improving. A lot of yellow sectors for most drivers out there. This is a bit of a cool down lap, recharge your hybrid. We've got 2 minutes left to go. It's a 1 minute 42.979 for pole position at the moment, so most drivers starting their next lap, this will be their last lap, so a lot of people on recharge mode now getting ready to go one more time. Cavallo sitting greens though, as it stands right now. Paul Seaman is a little bit further down the road behind Valley, but he's not setting any improvements right now. Valley's flinging at 499p Ferrari through the final corner and does improve up to P9. Amber also improving. Like we said, he just needed that banker lap in there, so he gets a little bit loose through the final corner though. Does Bamber improve on the lap time? He doesn't, a little bit down in his previous lap, but he's got the hybrid now charged for one last run. But he pulls off the road. So it'll be P15 at the best for Bamber on Davide. Davide Villar is going purple through sector 4. As he kicks up a bit of dirt as he runs slightly wide. Van der Vacker also looking to prove he's got a lot of greens and a lot of yellow. He's about to come across the line. Let's see what it is. Let's follow him along through Sunset Bend onto the start-finish straight. Across the line to start another flying lap as well, it looks like. And it's pole position provisionally by 9 thousandths of a second. Favara will fight back. Lely will fight back as well. He's got a purple sector. Favara is to the pit lane now. It's over for Davide Favara. He will not be on pole position. It's going to be P2 at best, but Lely's got something to show here. GTP checkered flag is out. Nobody else can start the new lap now. These laps are the last laps of the day. Alessandro Lely will be the first driver to take the checkered flag on track. And is an improvement. It is to pole position by 3 tenths. Dominant force. I don't think anybody's going to get close to that, to be honest, looking at the timing board. Favara would be kicking himself if he didn't finish that lap because he's dropped from first down to third. Matthias Weitem pulls off the road. That's session over for him. Siemens still going. Across the line there. Varley is going to be next. He doesn't improve any further. Siemens goes to P2 though. So Favara now down to P4. But he can definitely fight back in there. He's got some serious pace. Lely looks like he's going to be pole position on debut for him. There's a couple of drivers circulating out there. It's Glenn is still circulating down the backstretch. Towards the end of the lap, braking heavily. These are long right-handers. This is going to put a strain on people's tyres during the race. I think we're going to see some chaos in there during the multi-class element of this race. Across the line doesn't improve, unfortunately for him. Quinton Badon shown serious pace in the past on his day, led most of Daytona at the season finale in season 7. Across the line for Quinton Badon, and it is an improvement up to P9. Been hoping for a little bit more, not sure what happened there with Quinton as one car just sort of parked on the end of the road, and that is it for today, folks. So Alessandro Lely will take pole position in GTP. We're just going to go for a very short break and we'll be back with you in just a moment.
That session, just as a reminder to the GT3, GTP and LMP2 pole sitters, you will be controlling the start of the of your field. We ask the GT3 and LMP2 pole sitters to leave somewhere between a 10 and 20 second gap to the class ahead. And as a reminder to everyone on the grid, the green flag does not start your race. Your race will start when your class leader goes within the start zone. That being said, I hope you have a good race.
Apologies for that. Absolutely did not realise that I liked the music. No, Alessandro Lely goes to pole on debut in the Amstel Racing IMSA series, and it's P1 by over 2 tenths, nearly 3 tenths. Mega lap from him. John Paul Siemens P2, David Van der Vacker P3, Davide Favara P4, Jeffrey Ross P5, Matthias Weitem P6, Alvaro Gutierrez P7, Ayrton Quickhoven in P8, Quinton Badon P9, Quanto Avale P10, Marnix Heischer P11, Dave Van Eck P12, Vincent van der Moelenbrugge in P13. Sorry but his name is squished off the end of the screen. We'll take a look at that and try and get that sorted. Glenn Van Dievered in P14, Simon Bamber in P15 and Carlos Ponce P16. I'd like to apologise for any of the names that have been butchered during this session. We'll take a look at LMP2 first, and then we'll take a look at GT3 as a whole rather than as its individual classes. Emre Maldar is in P1, so we'll start on pole in LMP2. Albert Pre in P2, that's such a smallest margin, and then String Glamser P3, Emil Kumpans in P4, Nina Kopp P5, Andy Yeager P6, Sebastian van den Heuvel in P7, James Ebram P8, Tristan Koning in P9, Yanis Daya in P10. So we have to use these scroll wheels. Daniel Reneke P11 and Pete Green's P12. And in GT3, Ferran Balion will start on pole, Oriol Folk will start P2, Ignas Vincerescu will start P3, Norzo Karu will start P4, Matteo Vitali will start P5, Luigi Nespanini will start P6, Adam Jarvis P7, Massimiliano Legari in P8, Chris Chatterton P9, Robert Kovac P10, Daniel Maggioni P11, Senna Botkoven P12, Michael Kallenberger P13, Ivan Kumbera P14, Anthony Granza P15, Mick Saihen in P16, Nicola Monti P17, Sander de Boer in P18, Bram Kran in P19, Niels Ullman in P20, Matteo Lemre P21, Jesus Jimenez P22, and Timon Scholten in P23. And just a quick reminder while we're here, GT3 Am Senna Botkoven will take the points for pole position, Michael Kallenberger will take P2, Nancy Grant P3, Mick Sane P4, and Nicolo Monti P5. The rest of them will follow the qualifying order. And Daniel Morphy has now arrived, so we'll just fix his name on the standings very quickly. Show correctly. Daniel Morphy as well returning to the series. I know he had worries about not being able to make it today, but he has been able to. Very, very impressive. And getting in the right class set, GT3 Pro and GT3 for Daniel Morphy. So if we take a look at the sky in warm-up for some reason, not sure why we're seeing that. Let's follow John Bossina behind along as we see a spinner in the background, unfortunately. So this warm-up session, it might seem a little bit unnecessary for some drivers, and for some of you watching on, you might wonder why we have this. We have this because some of these drivers have not been in the car since about nearly half an hour ago now, at the start of LMP2 qualifying, start of GT3 qualifying, sorry. So it's just a chance for the GT3s and the LMP2s to get back up to speed, and for the GTP cars to have the same break that the LMP2 drivers have had. Okay, we're gridding up for race 1 of the Anstel Racing IMSA series. Alessandro Lelli will lead from pole in GTP. We're going to get a full warm-up lap. I'm not quite sure if there's an option for a shorter one. We always aim to have the shortest warm-up lap that we can. It looks like we maybe not got that this time, but we'll make sure we sort that out for next race. But it gives us a little bit of time to talk about what we're looking forward to in today's race. First of all, LMP2 is back, which not only means we're going to get a whole other class of racing to watch, but it also means we're going to get more traffic that the quickest cars have to get through, and the LMP2s are going to have to pass the GT3s. They're going to have to deal with even more cars. I believe we've got everyone on the grid now. I think we're missing one car as it stands. Morzakani now to grid up as we go to green, yeah. We can have a yellow in the Anstel Racing IMSA series if there's something that blocked the track significantly early on in the session. Not seen anything for a while. I think it was Watkins Glen a couple of seasons ago that we last had an incident that fully blocked the track to the point where we felt that it was necessary to throw a caution. In fact, it would have been at least 2 seasons ago because I was still in race control back then, I think. The leaders of each class have got to leave a significant gap between the classes. That's why we're watching GTP. The LMP2s are only just made it through turn 1, and the GT3s are only just leaving the grid. That circles an incident in one of the higher classes. The cars will hopefully be cleared all the way out of the way once there's been an incident like we've got going with total pit lane by the time the second class arrives. Reduces the need for any cautions. If we do get to caution, it'll be a single file restart. I believe it's a single file restart anyway. Race control will confirm that in the event of any caution. They do have the ability to override the regulations. It means keeping the pit lane closer open if they feel the need to, for safety reasons. That does mean they'll choose single or double file start. They'll choose single file start, I believe. That's what's in the regulations. So obviously we want all of the classes to have a double file start if possible. See how full the grid is today. 15 cars, and I believe that's just how many were limited to showing on the board. I believe there's actually 16 cars in this class. Letty will lead from pole, his first ever time in this series. Drivers don't go on the green flag as they do in the iRacing IMSA series. Drivers go in a start zone as designated by race control. That start zone here today is the bridge just out of Sunset and turn and the start finish line. And that's just when the GTP class goes, and then the GT3s and the LMP2s have to stay packed up until they reach the start zone, and their leader dictates when they go in the start zone. So the leader dictates at what point in that start zone they go. And the reason that we have the end of the start zone and the start of the start zone clearly defined is so that if they do leave it to the end, everyone else knows what's going on. It's everyone else's responsibility to make sure they time it well. If you have got teammates in your class when you're on pole position, you can let them know when you're going to go. But if they jump the start in any way, as in they go when you say go, not when you actually go, they will get a penalty for that. I've seen that happen several times, but if they just all go at the same time as the leader, that won't be a penalty. I don't think Alessandro Lelli has any teammates in GTP, but I think there's a couple of guys who've got teammates in GT3 and LMP2. The LMP2s make their way around the final corner. They've caught up a little bit on this lap. GT3s are a couple of corners behind that. So Lelli will let the pace car make his way into the pit lane before he decides when to go. I think he's probably going to leave it quite late here. This is going to give a mega tow to all of these cars. They all make their way through the final corner. They're all packed up. Red lights are on, not that that means much. And he's gone with green for Anti-Stall Racing IMSA Series Season 8. Round 1, 3 wide behind the leader into turn 1. Davide Pavaro still running for the DLR cars. Go 2 wide, one of them goes off. Pavaro's going to capitalise on that. Everyone's made it fairly safely through turn 1. Turn 2 is a bit difficult though. Pavaro on the inside of Jean-Paul Seaman. And then they're 2 wide behind that. Everyone's still running as it stands. A couple of people swapping positions further back. We're going in LMP2 there. Enrique Maldar has gone on the green. I'm not sure why we've seen a couple of cars glitch, but everyone's made it through safely on the start. Into turn 1, Gutierrez on the radio. That's because we've got a car stopped earlier on. This Albert Gutierrez is stopped and he's home to the pit lane. That's under investigation already by race control. Another 4X as well in GTP. We'll take a replay of everything that's happened further up the grid soon. Christian Koenig is backwards and in the wall. And we're now green in GT3. It looks like Ferran Balion into turn 1 will lead the field. Oriol Folk has timed it well. He's following his teammate through. Ignas Vintoreski stays P3. He's going to push forwards. Luigi Natfolini in the Mustang there on the back of these guys though. Oriol following his teammate through. These guys just need to play it safe and work together on this one. That's the safest way. We're going to car off in the back, I believe. That's Daniel Morphy spinning round. We'll try and fix the glitching cars as soon as we can. Apologies.
Please check the connection.
You're not very happy about something that's gone on in front of him. Glenn running at the back with no front end of GTP. Not sure what's happened there. We'll take a replay, like I said. We'll go back to the lead. Alessandro Lelli pulling away quite well in GTP. Now we're leading well in LMP2. Too many cars on track for the computers as it stands. Take a look at what happened to Alvaro on lap 1. Oh, got loose and then tagged from behind when the other cars had to check up. Maybe didn't slow down as they should have done. We'll find what happened to Tristan Koenig as well in LMP2. Oh, sent off by a DLR car. That'll be under investigation. And this is what happened to Davide Favaro, who's been off track. And he got loose on the rear end, didn't tag the wall, able to get going and rejoin safely, I hope, yeah. Does get back going, but he's fallen all the way down the order. Let's see what happened to Glenn and how he got all of that damage on that meatball flag. Oh, gets all on the curb and smashes into the wall. Apologies for everyone, I'm just going to try and fix this with one quick break. Okay, apologies for that everyone. I think we now fix this with drawing all cars rather than draw 64 brackets, 30 cars. Anybody that played iRacing will know exactly what I'm on about. I think this is going to help us avoid any more of this. Oriel right on the back of his teammate, but these two doing well. I think they're working together to pull away from the rest of the field. If they can pull away by over a second, which they've nearly done now, then that will definitely help them. Show the interval on screen. We don't need the tyre compound in this dry race today. Oriel practically pushing his teammate into turn 1 though. Let's take a look at how Ivan got past Robert Kovac for P31. Which is P10 in class. The inside out of the first section. Very, very nice. And they're going to go side by side for a while, it looks like here. Now let's take a look at what happened to Daniel. Just a bit of avoiding action there. We just have to stay with live images for now, I think. this is where we're going to kill race control software. So if race control are listening in, you might be disconnected shortly. David Van der Backer closed in on Alessandro Lelli the last couple of laps, and he's very, very close. Closest he's been. He's nearly pushing him through the corner, actually. What's happened here? Lelli incredibly slow. He hasn't been off or anything. They caught the GT3s already. We missed the start of this. Apologies. As the three leaders are trying to file through together. And I think Dave Van der Back is going to take the inside here, and he is. And they're going to be three wide with the GT3 either side. Comes across Lelli to close off that opportunity, and then he closes off his teammate John Paul Seaman into turn one. Lelli leads the two DLR cars side by side. It's a Mustang takes avoiding action. There's contact there between one of the DLR cars and Ignas Vincereskis, who has to take avoiding action.
Please check on that live bomb.
Yeah, Vincereskis understandably not happy. He's on the radio about that.
Air control, look at the incident at the last lap.
Really not happy with what went on there. And down the inside, David Van der Backer trying to make it work on the outside now with the lead in GTP, and he's going to do a switch back, and he is. They're side by side. There's a little bit of bumping wheels there from these two. Van der Backer now, how does he go into the corner? Is he taking the lead from Lelli? He's capitalised on the traffic. Lelli had pulled away a little bit pre-race. He's taken advantage, and he's now in the lead. He's over a half a second ahead as well after completing the move. He's done very well. Jean Paul Siemens a little bit further back and say run, but mega work there from Dave Van der Backer to take the lead in GTP. Jean Paul Siemens got a meatball flag. John Paul Seaman with a meatball flag from that incident there. That's why he's dropping off the back of these two. Over 2.2 seconds now. People see him dive to the pit lane for an early pit stop because he can make it to the end from here with two stops, and that's what encouraged in the series. That's what everyone will have to do. And he's going to dive to the pit lane for repairs because that damage was costing him quite simply too much time. Davide Famaro is flying at the back with some purple sectors, but it's not going to be enough right now. He's a long way off the lead. Talking about battles for the lead as the final GTPs make their way through. The leaders in GT3, Oriel Falk is right on the back of his teammate. Just trying to free up some CPU resources here. I think we may have done so. Looks like we have freed up a little bit. Apologies at the back glitching, folks. Alright, there we go. We can focus on the racing now. Oriel Falk and his teammate 2 seconds clear of the cars behind. I think Oriel Falk and Perrin Bellion will be free to bite at this point, unless Oriel's thinking, I'm going to beat him on fuel. We've seen people run that play before. Noor Zakani got past Andy Yeager a couple of moments ago. Let's see how that happened. And it looks like it was maybe in the pit lane, was it? It looks like it was in the pit lane. Apologies for that. Alvaro Gutierrez, this is how he got past Ivan Ubera for P15 in class. Oh no, apologies. That's Alvaro recovering from his meatball flag at the start of the race. I think Alvaro getting past an awful lot of cars at the moment. Pete Cranes has just crashed. We're going to go to the replay and see what happened live. That's a 20-second time penalty for causing a collision GTP on GT3. That's Jean Paul Seaman, who's been in the pit lane for that meatball. Pete Cranes just pulling off to the side of the road. They're not quite sure what that was about. We're going to follow live right now. That's the pit. The cars that are pitted making their way back through the field from GTP leaders. this GT3 field is incredibly tight, and the leaders are incredibly close to each other here. Luigi Nespolini is now the car chasing them down. Daniel Morphy got past Matteo Lemre, managed to have a better exit than Matteo out of the final corner before this straight, and that's just got him alongside into Sunset, and then he's just able to go deep on the brakes, cover the inside, maximise the exit. Matteo actually runs a little bit wide. The GTP coming down the inside chops off any of Matteo's real chances. Let's go back to live images. Apologies everybody, we're still getting a little bit of cutting. This is a very busy grid of cut today, unfortunately. Ariel Folk still on the back of his teammate, but not really able to find any way past here. That's a surprising and tight bench of the car 20, that's not adhering to blue flags. Just trying to find car number 20 on the timing board for you. That's Glenn Van Duyen. Van de Hewitt. Oh, I'm not even going to try. Apologies, Glenn. I will make sure that Andy gives me some coaching on some of these Dutch names that I'm struggling with today. James Ebert challenging for P2 in class right now, but these guys are really focusing right now on picking their way through the GT3 traffic, and as they do, James is gaining a little bit here on Christian Blamster, who had that mega flying lap that he didn't complete in qualifying. Albert Broom dominating here right now. So our pole sitters today doing pretty well. They've had a free leading, and the third is not far off of leading, really. Oh, there's a little bit of argy-bargy there as James Ebert makes his way through. James looking for a way past, and they make their way through the bottom half of the GT3 field as they run. We need to find anything right now. Davies pulled out a little bit out front. I'm not sure if they've now caught the traffic once again. But they will be surely, fairly soon, coming towards the back of the LMP2 traffic. And they are, because we can see cars in front. So are we about to get the triple class overtaking the RLM GT3 back past GTP back past LMP2 as the LMP2s made their way past for GT3s. It's going to get truly chaotic for a little bit here. Carlos Pons gets out of the way nicely for the leaders. On the back, extending that lead through the traffic. Michael Kellenberger qualifying in amongst the pro car once again and running pretty high up here today. He's doing very well though, to be honest with you. He's 9 seconds clear of the rest of the GT3 AM field. A little bit of a switchy moment here with Quinten Verdonk and Marnix Heister side by side, and they wheels a little bit on the entry into the corner, and then they're alongside again. Not sure who's going to come out on top after this battle. Clinton's going to get a better run here though at the final corner, and they nearly collide as they make their way past one of the Asilic McLarens. Quinton Verdonk takes a position into turn 1 though, and that's going to be sealed for him as they run. Marnish isn't going to give it up, but there's no way by into turn 2 really. And they're all over the place as the LMP2s make their way through the field of GT3s. See some of the grass being kicked up as these drivers made their way down the back stretch. Brown looking for a move on Nicole Monti just ahead, and Matteo only 1.3 seconds behind these guys. So the field incredibly tight in GT3, and Val Michael Campbell was all the way out front. We were momentarily on the radio. I'm not happy with something that's happened. We're trying to find the replay of it. Is being off track here. Oh. And there's a little bit of netcode there actually, it looked like, from here, unfortunately. But that'll go to race control. They've already put it under investigation, I believe. This is Ayrton getting past Marnich Heister. They go all the way around the outside of Sunset. That is mega moves. I'll tell you what, how has he pulled that one off? Because that is... Oh, it's because the other driver was going into the pit lane, that's how. I was going to say. That would have been a mega impressive move. James Egan looking for a move in LMP2. I'll find him on the leaderboard, here he is. That's John Paul Seaman, apologies. James Ebron there, looking for the move, and he flashes his headlights. There's a GT3 at James, and Christian is clearly not happy about how they got through. James going to go down the inside into Sunset. Yes, he is. He's going to have all of the track to use, because he's fully ahead as they come out of the corner and onto the back stretch. He's going to give a brilliant tow to Christian to come back at him though, as James ducks behind the GT3 leaders for a moment to get another tow. They go into turn 1 as the GT3s avoid them nicely. That's Ferrier and Oriel still battling out for P1, but at the moment it looks like they're just working together to move up as well as they can. That was a mega move from James down the inside of Sunset, and they kept the position down the straight as well. Mega stuff there. It's not over though, because Christian's coming back at him momentarily. And Christian make a dive here into a hairpin. Very impressive if he did. Incident under investigation between car 2 and car 99. And we'll keep you updated on if anybody gets penalised for any of that. And what's happened out front actually, because Dave Van Eyck is now leader. I think we've had some pit stops from the leaders. Apologies for a little bit of lack of information. I'm working with a little bit less data than usual to try and save my CPU. And yeah, Davey Van der Wacker still leads on the drivers that have pit. And he was slightly quicker throughout the whole pit lane than Alessandro Lelli. But Davide Fabaro was massively quicker than him. That's because he just pit stop a lot earlier than them. Oh, and that's off the road for Alessandro Lelli at the hairpin. He gets to the escape road nicely, carries on. He's going to have to serve his slowdown. But that's big advantage to Davey Van der Wacker. He's going to pull ahead nicely now from Alessandro Lelli. Let's take a look at what happened to Lelli there and how he ended up off the road. if we can actually find it. There's an awful lot going on. Actually, let's take a look at Matthias Weiten and Jeffrey Ross fighting it out for P9. Is this going to be on pit exit for one of these cars? Yes, it is. Jeffrey Ross and Matthias scoops ahead of him, but I don't think that's going to be the end of it, because it looks like these two are going to battle it out for a while here. Or perhaps not. Let's take a look a little bit further ahead. No, it's all one move. They just changed who was in the lead a couple of times through turn 1. That's a 10-second time penalty for car number 62. I will try and tell you who car number 62 is when I have a time screen of showing that, and that's Niccolo Monti in GT3. This is what happened to Alessandro Lelli. Pulled in front of the GT3, got on the brakes, and it just wouldn't slow down. And he's made the right decision there to go on rather than carry the lockup or take a spin, which would have been even worse for him. Zavala getting their position on Ayrton out of the pit exit. And it's all going off in front of these guys. With LMP2, GTP and GT3. Ignis Vizorevsky is in the middle and battling it out here. Ignis obviously had that contact early on. And he's passed Ulo before we even get to the braking zone. Ulo running the pink Rexy livery. And Daniel Reneke has gone on past Carlos Ponce. Obviously Carlos Ponce getting past Daniel Reneke as he climbs his way through the order, isn't it? Past another LMP2, sorry. Or the GTP driver. He's on that recovery drive after that lap 1 incident.
Yeah, that GTP murdered me.
I'm even not happy about an incident with a GTP. Trying to find a replay of that. There we go. This is Justin Gunn going off track. Is it? Yeah, he did get killed by the GTP there, it seems. I'll go to race control. You can understand why they're not happy about that. So on your fault, Ferran Bellion still leading in GT3 overall. We're going to go down just to the green classes so we can see what's going on a little bit. Or are we? Because that's not going to show anything apparently. Class that doesn't think the LMP2s exist. We'll leave it as it's fair. Christian Glamstevo still on the back of James Ebert, who made that mega move into sunset a few laps ago. Kind of Ockhoven is on the back of Michael Campbell. I wonder if that's because of pit stops there now. I'll tell you what, both of these guys have made their pit stop in but pitted on lap 3 for Senna, so he'll be kicking himself up because he's made a pit stop and he's fighting for the lead, so he would have been fighting for the leader out, or if the fuss's gone on. But he's going to struggle to make it to the end here, unless it's on a mega fuel save strategy, I would say. Everyone's pitted now. Davide Ferraro runs P2. Remember, he's a little bit off strategy with the rest of these guys. He pitted very, very early in this race, a bit like Senna on lap 3, I believe he pitted, and he did. Team running P8 in his first race of ASR, struggling along in that Porsche. Is not at its best around this track, it seems. Both of the Porsche drivers struggling a little bit today. Matthias Weiten with Jeffrey Ross directly behind him here. These two, like we saw them battling coming out of the pit lane, I think we're going to see them battling a little bit more as well. Defensive for Weiten in the Cadillac for the first time that we've seen him anyway. LMP2 traffic ahead going to make this one interesting as well. Going to have to be on the defensive here because Jeffrey Ross is less than 2 tenths away from him right now. And once they get a run down the final stretch and he's able to stay this close through the twisty stuff, which it looks like he is, and the actor is practically pushing him here. I think Jeffrey Ross is going to get past Matthias into the braking zone at Sunset. Surely he is, given how close they're running right now. Shows his nose. Matthias goes defensive. Ross goes to the outside. He's going to open up the corner a lot more and get a much better exit, surely. And they're side by side because Matthias gets loose mid-corner. Down into turn 1. Who's going to be ahead? Matthias looks like he's fractionally ahead at the moment. Ross is going to get a better run through turn 1 as he does. He goes wide to maximise the corner. And he's got the outside. They stay side by side on the corner exit. Matthias ahead into the braking zone. That's going to be a massive advantage here. Ross can't stay alongside. Matthias holds on for one more lap. This is not over though. Ross is surely going to come back at lights and surely quite soon. Luigi Nespolini and Avail made a pit stop. I believe we've had a lead change in GT3 Pro if they have all made their pit stops. Race control are listening and they want to try and keep me updated with what's going on with my limited data channels would be massively appreciated, but I think that Luigi Nespolini and Legari have undercut on fuel, that is, the two leaders in class. Just trying to work out what's going on here. Yeah, Luigi Nespolini and Massimiliano Legare stopped 1 lap earlier than Ferran Belon and Oriol Folk and were 7 seconds nearly quicker in the pit lane in total. They're needing a lot less fuel than that Mustang than the McLaren is. And they put ahead of Belon and Folk would be kicking himself for staying sat behind his teammate for so long and made me think that actually if I'd been ahead we would have been going a bit quicker and pulling away more and covered off this situation. Varys into pits in GTP. Ross and Whiten back at it again into turn 1 and turn 2. Ross has learnt this time though, he's got the inside. And it's advantage to Ross this time round as Whiten loses a position into turn 2. It looks like Whiten is losing a little bit of ground as well to Ross, who's pulling away a little bit right now as they approach from GT3 traffic and get through fairly easily. He's not falling too far back, but he's not hanging onto the back of him like Ross was able to in the Acura. It's a 10-second time penalty to, I believe, up with Senna Botkoven from unsafe rejoin. Pylon and Folk are all over the back of Legari now. And Nespolini's pulling away a little bit, 9 tenths ahead of his teammates, and Davide Varabli has had another incident. Actually, let's take a look at what happened. I believe that's Sebastian Mendehuvel on the outside. And then just go straight on again. We've seen a couple of drivers do that today. Monty and De Boer side by side as they go into the hairpin. Monty on the outside, De Boer on the inside. Monty running the ASR banner on the windscreen of that McLaren. As the Ferrari scoots ahead. It's not over yet. It doesn't look like it at all. These two incredibly similar on pace. Let's take a look at what just happened to Ferrari. As he's getting back past the cars he had his moment with earlier on in the lap. Oh, tags the wall on the outside. He's straight to pit lane. That'll be race over for him. Ayrton Kluivhoven got past Marnik Meister a couple of moments ago. And that's Ayrton on the inside in the Acura, and he's going to get past here nicely. Basically a carbon copy of what his teammate did a few laps ago. Apologies, that's one that shouldn't be showing up. Monty and Sander Boer still going at it. Monty ahead now, Sander Boer slightly behind. Monty flashes his lights. Let's take a look at how he finally got past a couple of moments ago. This was a moment GTP in front, side by side, into sunset. I believe Monty's just going to be a bit more dominant on the brakes, and yes he is, it looks like. And just slips back in on the racing line, very nicely done. Wow, this is a nice little battle we've got forming here. Is Ayrton, followed closely by Marnix behind, and then just in front of the two of these, Quinton, who's chasing Quanto Valley nice and closely, and they've got some traffic to contend with as well, it looks like. And it's all chaos up front, they're 3 wide just ahead. Flashes of the lights as they come past Sander Boer. And they pack up as they go into the corners. Make sure you leave the GT3s nice and lots of room, lads, as they do. Order currently of Arle, Verdon, Kluivhoven and Meister. It's not going to be the same in a lap's time, I can tell you that right now. Albert Preem running a little bit behind these guys. I'm not sure how that's happened. Trying to see if he's made an extra pit stop. He hasn't. His pit stop was an awful lot longer than some of these guys though. And that's not even true. It's 5 seconds longer than Alvaro Gutierrez. We're comparing him to James Ebram. And it was James Ebram's pit stop was only 43 seconds. An awful lot of the longer stop. Not sure what caused that. I'm not sure why we're not watching this battle anymore. Ayrton ahead of Heister. Heister going on the attack but can't make it work. Flashing of the lights from Ayrton as he makes his way through on, I believe that's Daniel Morphy. So we've got another car approaching the back of this pack. That is Jean-Paul Seaman, I believe, who's trying to get in on this action. .46, as Sander Boer has been given a 10-second penalty, I believe. Trying to confirm that car number, that abbreviation would seem to suggest that. Nespolino and Ligari pulled away from Bylon and Pons. sorry, not Pons, Bylon and Fogg right now. Koykoven's getting all over the back of the Dom and he's passed. No, he's not. There's too much going on here. The Dom trying to go down the inside of, I believe that's Pons, is it? Just ahead of him now, Varley. James Ebram into the pit for an early second stop. Maybe that's why he was able to jump free on the previous run. He did a shorter first stop to pit earlier the second time and go all the way to the end from 36 minutes in the race. That's what he's going to do. Being told by race controller a lot of GT3s with steering damage. I think that's probably from a couple of incidents with prototypes. As we're seeing an incident looking like it's going to unfold here, and it doesn't. But Ayrton stays briefly ahead. It's really close battling here as John Paul Siemens joined the battle, and he's now ahead of Marnix Heister. Marnix Heister's now ahead of him. Oh, Seaman thinks he's been forced off. We'll try and take a look at what happened here. You see that John Paul Seaman getting past Marnix Heister. He went the wrong way around the GT3. Heister went the other way. Seaman's going to get down the inside here. Then the inside becomes the inside again, and that's going to give him the position. But let's see what happened here. To the GT3 off the road, but that doesn't look to be the problem. And Heister gets into the back corner of Seaman. He's able to keep it pointing in roughly the right direction. But I can see why he's not happy with that. Perrin Balon and Oriel Falk have both been off track. What's happened here? Balon onto the grass, Falk follows him. No harm, no foul. It looks like they've both carried on. They've lost a tiny little bit of time to the cars ahead. Vincent the Dom has gone past Avali and all of that as well. Down the inside into turn 2 on the brakes, makes it happen. Oh, and just gets ahead before they get to turn 3, and then they're onto the back of the GT3 leaders now. Meanwhile, in GTP, further up the order, Dave Van der Vack has been slowly growing that gap steadily. It's now up to 5 seconds on Alessandro Lelli. It's hovering around there. John Paul Seaman falling off the back, and these guys a little bit at the back contact. Looking for a move on the inside of O'Reilly. He's already lost one place. It looks like he's about to lose another. Ferrari ahead. Some people sceptical that the brakes aren't quite as good on it as some of the other cars. Is that going to mean Ayrton's going to get a sniff down the inside, maybe? No, he thinks better of it this time around. The swapping in GT3, Massimiliano Laguerre and Mattia and Luigi Nespolini, are in the pit lane. So they're on an earlier stop. Maybe that's why they short-stopped the other drivers the previous time round, and there's damage fixed on the front of that car for Nespolini as well, as he used his quick repair in his last pit stop of the race. These Uneman all over the back of Matteo Emery, who was in the Coventry with us last season for a couple of races, and the past couple of seasons as well. Great to see him back in the car. He's going to go down the inside, is he, of Matteo? No, he has a look, but he thinks better of it. Ulo looking for the inside again in turn 1, and there's so nearly contact between the two of them, who somehow keep it going. Adam Jarvis is on the back of Chris Chatterton. He'll be disappointed seeing his teammates running up front. He's about 8 seconds off the back of them. I think he'll know if he'd been able to qualify with them, would have stuck with them. Another car running the IMSA Series banner. That's not mandatory, but it is massively appreciated. If any of the drivers are watching this back and they do want to get that banner on their car, they are all available. The link has been posted in the announcements channel and the information channel. You head over there, you can get that banner. There's one being made for every car. Be an instant for Vincent van der Meulenbroek. Let's see what happened here. The GTP there. All's okay so far. Oh, on the curb, unsettles that car. We've seen that for a couple of drivers today. Oh, Jeffrey Ross has got him back past Matthias. Oh, and he undercut him. Well, it's back under him after Matthias went a little bit deep. Very nicely done. New Zealand pass Matteo, and they're in the wall together. I'm not sure what happened there. Let's see if we can have a look. So Matteo's been off track. We're going to roll it back a little bit further.
Forced off the track.
Yeah, I think Ulay on the radio there saying he felt like he was forced off the track, and it kind of does look like that. Track limit is a white line here, I believe. Anyway, that'll go to race control. I think they'll both be able to fix their damage in their pit stop if they've not already used their fast repair. Kellenberger nearly 20 seconds ahead of P2 in GT3 AM right now. He'll be very, very pleased with that gap that he's been able to form. No one else pitting yet in GT3 Pro. Just for two
Race controller got hit again.
Mustangs. Zule saying he was just hit again.
Also, car 48 is blinking a lot.
And also the car 48 is blinking a lot. And that's not really relevant for the broadcast. Ubatali closing up to the back of these guys on the same strategy as the two in front of him. I think he'll be looking for a podium here, because the other cars, Ligeri and Nespolino, have had to make a much longer stop than these guys will have to. So I think Matteo Vitali's in a position here to overcut the two Italians. Falk 5 seconds off of Balin, not sure how that's happened. We'll see if we can find anything on Falk's record. Vitali passed around the outside of Falk there. Falk must be carrying some sort of damage, surely. Trying to see if I can see anything in the race log. Not sure what happened there. It looks like it's still hung to the back of him, but really, really bizarre. Oh, and spin for Matteo Vitali as we watch the live images. And that's going to let Adam Jarvis through as well to run on the provisional podium. But remember, we've got those two early stoppers running a little bit further down. Vitali thinks he was potentially tagged there, it sounds like. Let's take a look at what happened here. Got a GTP on the inside who does run into the back of him, actually. That's car number 19, it looked like, on the sideboard. That's Vincent van der Meulenbroek, who's now in the pit lane.
Very, very dangerous situation.
Gutierrez not happy on the radio about something. Not seeing anything pop up on the chat, Ubertali in for his pit stop. Makes sense. He can make it to the end from here and he can repair that damage straight away. Into Verdonk being chased down by Jean-Paul Seaman, who's had a pretty good recovery drive, considering he was behind all of these cars a few laps ago and he's now ahead of all but one. He's looking for a move here, actually, it looks like. I think it'll be the next couple of laps or it'll be in the pit lane. Of course, we want it out on track. Less than 2 tenths separates for 2 drivers right now as they run. Michael Kallenberger into the pit lane from the lead of GT3M as his P2 Brand Crown. Jean-Paul Seaman pushes Quinton Verdonk and he finds a gap down the inside as neither of them head to the pit lane this lap. Jean-Paul Seaman is ahead but not for long because Quinton Verdonk in the Porsche has the drive off at the final corner as they go past. That'll be Nespolini, I think, on the outside of the two, and they go side by side through turn 1. Jean-Paul Seaman off in the grass, but he keeps the position. Guess he didn't pick up a slowdown, but race control might look at that. Chatterton on the inside of Ubertali, side by side through the middle sector of the lap, and that's a GTP on the outside. There's too much traffic today for anyone to pay attention to. Chatterton trying to stay ahead now and use his traffic as well as he can, but it's really difficult when you're in the GT3. You're not really the one in control of the situation a lot of the time, but he's managed to stay ahead of Ubertali and keep the position. Falk and Balin into the pit lane. That is all 4 of the lead GT3 Pro cars into the pit lane. This is Ligari coming through the final corner now. The leader on that short middle stint strategy. The lead Balon's now out of the pits. How close are they going to be on exit? They're going to be pretty close, because that was Adam Jarvis just on the pit exit, I believe, as well. If Balin hasn't pitted. Is that correct? Is Balin not pitted? Balin hasn't pitted. Ligari jumped Ignis, jumps Jarvis, so it's worked well for him. Can't work out where his teammate is in the other Ford. Nespolini, I think he must have been caught up in something. He's a little bit further down the order. Trying to find something in the review chat, but I can't see anything that would point towards what's happened to Nespolini for him to be right down the order. Not sure if race control know what's happened. Unfortunately, due to the CPU load, I've had to close the normal software I'd use to try and find the incident if it's not obvious what's happened. But I think Balin is surely going to be in the next lap. In fact, yeah, he's going to be in the inside here. This is going to be to the pit lane for Balin, and it is as always as Sebastian van der Heuvel dives to the pit lane ahead of him in LMP2 as well. GTPs have all done a couple of pit stops. We've not been paying too much attention to these guys. But David van der Back still leads by 3.5 seconds to Lely, who's trying to close in, but has got a lot of work to do in the final 10 minutes of this race. Ayrton on the back of Avale once again. Trying to find his way by. We've seen this one before. These two are closest cars out on track right now. Got a couple of retirees from this race, but we'll worry about that post-race. We'll go through that and what happened to those drivers that we can try and work out what happened to. We won't be able to do that for all of them. We'll try and get some interviews with our race winners as well. We're going to have 4 race winners to interview for the first time ever if we get them all in as well. Oh, a little bit of a bump, and that's round for Ayrton as he gets into the back of Juanto Avale. Would have wanted that. It's a 10-second time penalty for car number 962. That's a driver. I'm going to put the car numbers up on screen actually so that we can try and work out what's happening. 962, that's Quinton Verdonk who's received a penalty. Apologies, not sure what happened there. Bit of an internet cutout. It's Vicent on the back of Jeffrey Ross once again. These two just don't quit. Been going non-stop at it for a while. Michael Kellenberger and Oriel Falk have been battling out as well. Kellenberger in the AM car goes past Falk in the Pro car, who I believe is going to get back pass potentially. No, these two absolutely going for it, and Kellenberger making his way up the order past Oriel Falk. Kellenberger yet to make his second stop though. I'll tell a lie, he has. So Ferrin, we missed that, but Ferrin has stayed ahead. Ferrin has stayed ahead of Legeri. So that strategy working out best for Balin, but Ignis 1.5 seconds behind Legeri right now as they run.
Yeah, check this left, please.
Well, something's going to happen to Tiemann here. We've got a crash showing up. Not sure what it is. He does get into the pit lane. I'm not sure if something happens before that. Oh yeah, it takes a wall. And then he's going to drive it into the pit lane. It's James Ebram getting past Christian Glamster, and he takes an opportunity here. The two drivers that have been battling out all day. And he finds a gap amongst 5 cars on the same piece of tarmac. Oh, and there's a car around. And that was always going to happen with that many cars fighting over one bit of tarmac, and some of them in completely different classes. There's Daniel Morphy getting past Oriel Falk as well in the final corner. As Morphy does that recovery drive, having missed qualifying, and that's because Falk went off the track. What happened here to Oriel Falk? And Falk just runs out of steam, it looks like. It is all over the back of Ross right now. They go past Uli. Daniel Morphy on the back of Michael Kellenberger. Going to make a move to the outside in turn 1. He's going to try his best. Outside comes inside, side by side, banging wheels a little bit down into turn 2. BMW strong on the brakes, makes it work. That's another pro driver that makes their way back past Michael Kellenberger, who's done a mega race once again here in the AM class. Kellenberger's not done. He's going to go to the inside, going into the hairpin, but can he make it work? No, he can't. He thinks better of it. This isn't his race. He's got a 30-second lead. He doesn't need to take any risk here. Alessandro Lelli, 3.5 seconds now back from Dave van der Wacker, but we've 4.5 minutes to go. That's going to be a little bit too much of a gap to close, it seems. So very, very, very impressive. Oh! Into the barrier for Simon Bamber. As he just loses a car coming into Sunset. Ross and Viton, the gap swinging and swaying. Sometimes it's half a second, sometimes it's a full second. Not sure what is going on here. Might be the traffic that they're making their way through. This is the leaders. This is Massimiliano Ligeri that they're making their way past now and then just up the road. In fact, no, it's not. This is the cars further down the order. I believe. Looking at the timing screen, yeah, it is. This is Luigi Nespolini. What this Glamster Ibram battle has gone on all race with no one giving up. They've been at it all day. We've seen some very, very good moves. Ibram with that mega move on the straight, and then they got a little bit argy-bargy a couple of laps ago that we saw with the incident.
Lap 27, please. Yeah, Matteo, like I was not signaling you from 2 kilometers away that I was going to go there.
Could be an argument. And a couple of drivers on the radio with race control. We'll take a look. Oh, apologies everyone, we're back. We're pointing out I'm not at my usual location today. Back staying with my parents at Christmas, so the Wi-Fi is not quite up to scratch of what I'm used to. This many cars on track, it can be quite a lot. Christian Glamster now under 4 tenths away from James Evans. He's brought this gap down quite significantly the last couple of laps. And I'll tell you who else is close. Dave Van Eck and Jean-Paul Seaman. Go off board if we can. Jean-Paul Seaman on the attack. Dave Van Eck trying to defend as they make their way through some traffic. Ferrari versus Acura. And these two are not giving an inch. Jean-Paul Seaman trying to turn 6th into 5th at the end of this race. He's going to go all the way around the outside. No, he's not. He's going to run out of the road and clobber the curbs. And the traffic's going to help him actually not lose too much time here. He's going to get a nice run out of this corner, it looks like. Can he make anything happen into Sunset? I'd be very, very surprised. And meanwhile, Ross and Viton are fighting out, and Viton's back ahead. How did that happen? Let's take a look at what we missed in Sunset. Oh, and Ross got all up into the wall. And Viton's going to try and go around the outside, and he's going to get it done before they even get to the braking zone. But it's not over, because Ross is going to go back down the inside of the hairpin. No, he's not. Because Matthias thought about that and he covered off what is now a podium, given all of the happenings that have gone on in this race. So they approach, I think that's the LMP2 leader of Albert Preem, flashing his lights Matthias at whoever's further ahead of him, unless that was a Preem and it was just a bit delayed. Let's go back and look at Glamster because he's all over the back of James Ebram right now. Glamster even looking for a way past in this section, really peculiar. Ebram clearly struggling with his tyres now at this point. He's not got the grip. And down the inside goes Glamster. They run side by side. There's a little bit of contact there. Not sure what's happened with Quinton Verdonk. I believe Jean-Paul Seaman's been off track actually, and that's allowed Quinton Verdonk to get past. Checkered flag, Davy van der Wacker is your winner in GTP. Congratulations, winner in the first race of the season. Mega work. We're going to see the battle for P3, and it's going to be decided already. Matthias beats Ross by a couple of tenths of a second to the line. Albert Preem, following these guys closely, wins in LMP2 on debut in LMP2. Your championship runner-up in GTP last season round wins the opening race of the season. Michael Kallenberger wins in LMP2, in GT3 and by 39 seconds. And Ferran Balon is currently leading in GT3 Pro. He's got a couple of corners left, about half a lap left to do before he can win this race. Now, you might think it's over, and the top four haven't taken the checkered flag yet. Everyone else after them has. So Matteo Ubertali is going to finish P4 in that class. The full podium in LMP2 is going to be Albert Green, James Ebram and Christian Glamscher after that. That little battle we saw on the last lap couldn't get past him, 2.5 tenths behind, 254 milliseconds behind, but that's your podium in LMP2. Ferran Balon looks set for P1, Massimiliano Legari in P2 and Adam Jarvis P3 as they run. Chris Chatterton is a long way behind those guys, so it looks pretty set. Bram Kran has come home in P2 in GT3 and Senna Botkoven has come home in P3 unless there are any penalties that affect that order. We just had confirmation from race control that race results are going to take a little bit of time to officially process because there's a lot of penalties to review and write up that haven't all been looked at yet. But Ferran Balon is going to win on track by 4.6 seconds to Massimiliano Legari. Adam Jarvis is going to come home P3 by 2.9 seconds to Legari. He closed in a lot. Jarvis with a mega end to that race to get back close to his teammate after how far back he was at one point. Super impressive. Well, there you have it, folks. Race 1 of the Anti-Store Racing IMSA series. What a mega run we had, with all three classes on track together in a race setting for the first time. Hopefully, I can try and sort out some computing power to get to have a bit less glitching, a bit more graphics on screen, and we can have a co-commentator to sort of help me talk while I try and work out any technical issues that we have. But thanks to all of the drivers that took part in that one. That really was a mega race. And Ferran and Adam run side by side. They've got little different coloured sections on the car. That's going to be very helpful to remember. I believe that's Adam who's running side by side with it is. Oriel Falk, after running very well early on in the race, running down in 13th, and he's yet to take the checkered flag actually. And that's because he's parked in a pit lane, I believe, but will still be classified P13. Alright, well, congratulations to our drivers. Let's take a quick look at the full results and get them on screen for you shortly. Alright, in GTP, Davy van der Wacker was your race winner after overtaking Alessandro Lelli through the traffic earlier on in the race. Matthias Blyton, in that crucial battle with Jeffrey Ross, became a podium battle to finish P3. Jeffrey Ross P4, Dave Van Eyck P5, Quinton Verdonk P6, Edson Koykoven P7, but providing plenty of entertainment in that race. Juanto Vale P8, Jean-Paul Seaman P9 after he went off track on the final lap, and Vincent Van der Moeller-Brooker said in the chat he's very devastated that he made that small mistake on lap 1 to get spun off into the barrier. And Alvaro Gutierrez also a lap down, P11, Carlos Ponce P12, Simon Bamber P13, then Marnich Heisen, Davide Favaro and Glenn Ganduliverd is or will not be classified as they are, I believe, outside of the 85% to be classified. Okay, LMP2, Albert Preem won the race from pole position, but he had to deal with a lot of traffic in that race, both quicker than him and slower than him, so that's definitely something that we've not seen before. So very impressive from your runner-up in the championship last season. James Ebram P2, Christian Glamscher P3, Daniel Reneke P4, Sebastian Van der Hubel P5, Emil Kumpas P6, Pete Preens in P7, Tristan Koenig P8, Yanis Dare P9 and Linda Kopp P10, but 16 laps off the back of the leader, so I don't think he'll be scored, and the same will be for Emre Kamalba and Andy Jaeger. In GT3 Pro, Ferrin Baylon won the race by 4.6 seconds. Adam Jarvis was P3 to Massimiliano Ligeri in P2. I get that right one, folks. He was 4.6 seconds off of Ferrin, but ran that alternate strategy to finish very, very well there. Chris Chatterton P4, Matteo Vitali P5, Ivan Ibera P6, Roberto Kovac P7, Daniel Morphy P8, Ignas Vincerescu P9, and Luigi Nespolini in P10. Those guys were not all a lap down, it was just the way that the traffic caused them to finish because they were behind or ahead of the prototype leader. Then Daniel Maggioni in P11, Noor Zaghani in P12, and Oriel Volk in P13. Right, we've got a couple of drivers ready for an interview, so we'll try and pop them down quickly. Collapse a load of stuff on Discord so I can drive them down. Actually, it would be a smarter way to do it, wouldn't it?
Race control scoring has ended.
Alright, I'm joined first by Adam. Adam, how was that race for you? I mean, there was an awful lot going on and you were struggling a little bit, it looked like, at the start, but to come home and finish in P3, I'm sure you're very, very pleased with that result. Yes, really. I was trying to work out what was happening to him during the race and couldn't quite work out what had gone wrong, but that makes much more sense. Alright, well... Yeah, it's not ideal, is it? Okay, well, congratulations on P3, and your teammate Ferrin won the race. How was that, Ferrin? Yeah. Yeah, we were. I was a little bit. There was a lot going on, and we had moments. I'm sure you saw where there was GT3, LMP2, and GTP all on one bit of road, and it went wrong a couple of times. But it was great to see. I mean, as well, what I was wondering was at the start of the race, you were running. I think it was with Oriel. And you were sort of running together. Were you trying to save fuel? Were you working together? Because there wasn't much. I don't think he tried to go past you at any point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, congratulations on the race win in round one. That puts you in a very good position going forwards. Okay, alright, so Senna, P3 in GT3 AM. How was that race for you? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, congratulations. It looks like on my timing screen at least, you did. I'm assuming race control is seeing the same timing screen. So, congratulations on the podium. Okay, Michael, 40 seconds ahead of P2. That race went pretty well for you. I think more than anything, you had the pace, but you also stayed out of trouble, which a lot of people struggled to do today.
Out quite well, I guess, and yeah, just tried to get into my rhythm and keep it clean.
Yeah, well, I don't. So it sounds like Senna was on pole. I missed that during qualifying, but
Yeah.
Did you maybe focus on the race pace a little bit more?
I would say qualifying is not one of my strengths because usually in race pace I'm like on quali pace. So yeah, I just often don't get the lap together. But yeah, race pace and consistency is, I think, one of my strengths.
Yeah, well, congratulations, and like I said,
Yeah, thank you.
it's a good start to the season. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll jump to you now, James. It looked like chaos for the LMP2s because we've never had this before, and you had to watch out for the GTPs coming past, and you had to be making sure you got past the GT3 safely. First off, how was that? And then I'll ask you a little bit more about the battle that you had throughout the whole race.
Well, this was quite literally the first time I've hopped in the P2 since the change. I had 10 minutes to make a set, which turned out to be an understeering mess, and it was so off the pace, I really struggled to get any kind of turn in on it. And then I settled on a Watkins Glen setup for this race, so considering I finished P2 with zero practice and a setup thrown in after quali with no real, sort of thing to gauge it on, I'm quite pleased with that. With regards to traffic, the GTPs were so well behaved. That's probably the best I've seen. Like from my perspective, I felt they were well behaved even with chaos. The front running GT3s were also great. I had no complaints there. Some of the back market GT3s were a little bit questionable, but they're AMs. They're gonna find their feet eventually. It's to be expected. So it was it was nice to just be back in the LMP2 in this league, because I think the last time I was here was when you last ran LMP2.
Yeah, well, it's been a while, but podium on a return with a Watkins Glen setup is pretty good. And then the other thing was you had that battle with Christian, and it every time I looked, you were basically side by side or pushing each other through the corners. I mean, what was that like? Because it looked pretty relentless all race.
Early on, I definitely had really strong pace, and I think part of the reason for that is, again, I've not got used to the new tyre model, but I think I overheated the tyres. I was just maybe a bit too aggressive early on, and I just wore them down a bit more than Christian had. I had good pace early on. I was even catching Albert in the first stint after sort of caught and passed Christian, but then the tyres sort of got away from me, and I lost that sort of gap that I built up. Had to pass him a few times. Got maybe a bit lucky with the traffic in that last pass. Just sort of chancing it around the outside. Got lucky to get past him, and then the back marker just I don't know what happened really, but it either held him up or got a sandwich between us. I couldn't really tell. I felt a little push on my rear left, and then the next thing I look in the mirror and I see a bit of smoke and some carnage. But it was a good fight. I think he actually probably would have had me if he didn't go for that lunge into tower on the last lap. I think if he'd been more patient and just set it up out of Le Mans, he would have got me in sunset, because I just did not have the grip through that corner. I could see every lap he was gaining like 2-3 tenths on me there. I think he would have had me if he'd been more patient. So I'm lucky that he did decide to go for that lunge.
Yeah, well, congratulations, and hopefully you can fight for the win on the with the correct setup next race.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll get some more laps in and get my eye in again. It's been a while. It drives like the LMP3 now, which is quite fun. It's
Oh,
a
nice.
bit more loose on the rear, so I'm quite enjoying it now.
All right, well, congratulations and good luck going forward.
Cheers. I'll just have a shout out to effectsimulations.com where you can get all your sim racing needs.
All right.
Got to do the PR.
Exactly. Okay, Senna, so you're back with us because I mistakenly had Discord muted a couple of minutes ago.
Oh.
So, do you want to just tell us quickly about your race?
Yeah, quite chaos in the beginning, especially when the hypercars hit at first. I had an incident actually when the leaders of the hypercars hit the first time. I was too hesitant to turn in, and that caused me to crash into another car and get a meatball myself. I hope it didn't affect the other guy as much. But that basically put me one pit stop behind and having to push the entire race. And I was kind of just driving it home for the points in P5, and then I saw P3 and 4 crash in front of me. And I had the 10-second time penalty of the incident at first.
Yeah.
So I saw them crash, and I saw a glimpse of hope. And then I just didn't know where I was on track. And then when I came out and on the last splash and dash, I just came 5 seconds in front of P4, and I was just pushing like a madman, trying to get that gap up to 10 seconds. I think it was like 11 at the end.
Yeah, like I said, whichever one will have heard me say this, it does just look like you were about 12 seconds ahead of the line. So it looks like you just held on, which was really, really impressive. Like you said, it was 5 seconds and there weren't many laps left at that point. So congratulations and good luck going forwards, because I know you said you were on pole in class at the start and then a couple of things went wrong. So hopefully next time, if we nail the start and get a bit luckier in traffic, you'll be able to stay in the lead and hopefully win the race.
Yep, I've seen the pace. I think I can get there.
All right, well, congratulations, and we'll see you next race.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks to everyone that joined us. Apologies, we had a couple of technical issues and a couple of internet issues. So I know next time out, unfortunately, I am not able to stream the race. We are trying to work out a plan to make sure that we do stream the race because it is Long Beach. So we will be streaming it one way or another because it will be chaotic and it will be entertaining. Before we get on to that, there's a 2-week break for Christmas and other holidays in this sort of period. So we've got a 2-week break and we're back on the 9th of January for Long Beach. And we're trying to sort out and make sure we have a broadcast for all of you. And if we don't have a broadcast, we're going to work something out and we'll get some sort of highlights out so that everybody can see what happened. And then we've got another break week because it's the iRacing Daytona 24-hour, which means all of our drivers can take the week off and compete in that race. Then we're back for a triple header at Laguna Seca, Gilles Villeneuve and Le Mans, and I know there's a little bit of weather going on in those races. And I believe Le Mans is our multiplied time race. We're going to be running it, I think it's 8 times or 4 times, whatever is the most that we can do in iRacing to make sure that we get a day to night and night to day transition. So make sure you tune in for that. Then we've got another break week, and we're back on the 20th of February for Road Atlanta, Imola and Silverstone for a triple header. And that Silverstone is going to be, once again, a 90-minute finale. Okay, thanks again to everyone that joined us today, and we'll see you next time.